Hello everyone, my name is Dorcas. I'm from Ghana. My background is in psychology, but I'm currently studying public health nutrition and I'm here with my colleagues to discuss obesity. Can you introduce yourselves, please?
Yes, hello, my name is Nico. I'm from Spain. I'm a nutritionist with a background in biomedicine and I've studied this in Barcelona.
Hello, I'm Jannatul and I'm from Bangladesh. I have completed my bachelor and master's from Joshua University of Science and Technology and it was in nutrition and food technology.
Hello everyone, I'm Yu and I'm from China. My background was in gynecology and obstetrics. Now I'm in nutrition.
Great, so we are here to talk about obesity. Nico, what is obesity?
So, obesity is a medical condition that is characterized by an excess accumulation of body fat and it may impair for risk in health. So, it can be followed by associated comorbidities like type 2 diabetes mellitus, high blood pressure, then you have cardiovascular diseases, sleep apnea, musculoskeletal problems, and even certain types of cancer.
Right, how do I know if I'm obese?
So there is an index that we use commonly to measure that this is body mass index or BMI, and the result of this number is used to make a classification. So we have underweight that it goes up below 18.5, and this is associated with a potential risk factor due to the insufficiency of body fat. Then we have a normal weight. It is a body mass index between 18.5 to 24.9, and it's considered a health status. Then we are having an overweight between 25 to 29.9. These individuals already have excess in body weight, and it might have a risk in the health. But then we have obesity that is from 30 and above. And it might impair the comorbidities. But first, it is important to know that body mass index is just a screening tool, so it's not the only measurement that you need to follow. It has some limitation, so it's better to check with your healthcare provider.
I learned there are types of obesity. Is that true?
Yeah. There is let's say two categories of obesities. We have android obesity, that is a central one, and then we have gynoid obesity. I will explain the central first. So fat, it's accumulated in abdominal area and it creates an apple shape form. So this one, the fat will be accumulated overall in the abdominal area and the visceral part, so in the thorax, in distribution of the adipose tissue. And this one is associated with a higher risk of comorbidities, metabolic syndrome. And then we have the gynoid obesity that is more common in women, and it has the fat distribution in the lower part of the body, so it's accumulated in the hips, in the buttocks and thighs, and it's resulting with a pear-shaped body. So this is generally less dangerous for cardiovascular disease, but it still impairs difficulties.
Interesting. That's scary. What is your take on the global trend of obesity?
Yes, like he mentioned, it's very important and a very big problem. Actually, because of obesity is not a local or regional issues, it's global concerns. So according to WHO, as of 2020, approximately 13 of the world's adult population was considered obese. This means that millions of people are affected and the numbers keep growing. For European countries, obesity rates vary significantly. In generally, Western European countries tend to have higher obesity rates compared to Eastern European countries, especially in the UK, France, and Germany. The rates range from 20% to 25%, and so does the Finland. They have the same range of that. So this is very high, and the range a slightly higher rates in women than in men. And this problem not only impact ourselves, individuals or communities, but also entire nations. Obesity is associated with a wider range of health issues, including heart disease, diabetes, and certain types of cancers. So that's why we are here, and that's why we need to pay more attention to this problem.
Great. I was just wondering, when you were talking about the rate, you did mention of the difference in Eastern and Western Europe. Why is that?
Yeah, there is so many factors actually, like socio-economic factors, culture, dietary patterns, differences, and healthcare systems. The Western European countries tend to have higher average income compared to the Eastern European countries. So they attended to very fast speed, high speed lifestyle. And they might be don't have enough time to cook, to prepare the good things. So they might be purchased that's higher calories but lack of nutritious items. So that's why, and that's the key factors for these problems.
Wow. Renato, what do you think are the risk factors? How can someone be obese?
There are some risk factors which we need to know in behind the obesity, and the most important risk factor is a diet or food intake or food quality. So poor dietary habits such as consuming high quality diet, high calorie diet, and also the food that is rich in sugar, saturated fat, and also the most important, the fast food or junk food can increase the risk of obesity. Another risk factor is, physical activity. So it's sedentary lifestyle characterized by limited amount of physical activity, or the people who are sitting for extended period of time. It's also contribute to the risk of obesity. I also mention another risk factors like medications or medical conditions, hypothyroidism, polycystic ovary syndrome, and some kind of medical conditions like antidepressant medicine or antipsychotic medicine. It can increase the risk of obesity as a side effect of a weight gain for a person. And another risk factor is a lack of sleep. So if you are not sleeping for like 7 to 8 hours, then it also contribute to the risk of obesity.
That's interesting. 7 to 8 hours sleep. I'm very busy. How do I get that? Why is sleep a problem?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, sleeping pattern, if your sleeping pattern is not good and if you are not sleeping for 7 to 8 hours, then it can disrupt the hormonal regulation and also disrupt the metabolism. So, these kind of things increase hunger and craving for unhealthy food. And if you want to maintain the good sleeping time, then yes, you just start from now. Like you can keep using your phone before sleeping, or like you have to start from now. Then I think you can maintain the proper sleeping time.
Wow. Well, I personally like junk food, like fries. I feel comfortable to eat junk foods. Does it mean that if I don't change, I'll be obese?
Well, I can respond this to you. I think it's important to understand first the fundamental of obesity. How is it happening? Like there is a energy imbalance in the quantity of food you are telling that you are intaking, and then the activity you are making. This is so important. Like in a healthy diet, normally you will have your intake of calories, and then you have your expenditures of energy, and it will be like neutral, so you will not keep storing fat. But in case of obesity, you have an extra intake of food. You will having junk food, this trans fat, you have sugar, and it's too caloric. So this will have a really high input, and on the other hand, you have the habits. You said you stay home, you are not doing that much exercises, that this is not good neither. You need to make some, your sedentary lifestyle has to change a little bit, more physical activity. Like this, you can also burn the calories you are taking, and this imbalance is what is causing this obesity and fat accumulation.
How do I keep a balance? I like junk food. Does it mean that I can't eat like what I want to eat?
I can understand this feeling, but this you have also to understand that it's also a disease. We need to put effort in this part. We need to take care of our diet, of our not only diet but also emotions. Here, when you're taking, I like to take this or to do this other food, you're also putting some kind of needs in there. So first you need to take care of what it could affect, and then also the diet. For example, here in Finland, what they do, they have like a guideline. It's a plate guideline, and in this plate, for example, they divide the plate in 3 portions. So 1/3 of the plate will be vegetables, and here you will have the input of vitamins and also the fiber that you need. Then in the other third, you will have the source of carbohydrates. In the carbohydrates, you will from them you will obtain the energy that you will use. It's tubercles, grains, flours in here, and then in the other portion you will have the protein, the part of the protein, and this might differ depending on your dietary patterns. It could be like poultry, meat, eggs, and if you are vegetarian, it could be some quinoa source, tofu, or beans. You can complement the beans with rice, so it will have like a properly input of macronutrients and micronutrients. And then also in the Nordic diets, they add some dairy in every lunch. It could be milk, it could be some yogurt, and then also it's important to remember to have an intake of fruits. In Finland, they have it as part of the vegetables, but it depends of what kind of diet we're watching. But it's important to have at least 5 pieces between vegetables and fruits along the day.
Does it mean that I have to be going to the gym and I can't eat the food I like maybe if I want toffees and things, I have to reduce it and eat healthily, as in vegetables, fruits, and what else? What do I do?
Exactly.
Would I change? Would I be okay?
Like progressively, you have to introduce and work in your habits, like as you mentioned, food habits, sport. You will not change from one day to another one. So you say like, okay, I stop my bad patterns, and since tomorrow I will be perfect. That will give you a lot of stress. You will at some point say, okay, I don't want to this change anymore, and it's a cycle that you will be repeating constantly. Sorry, and so you try to do little by little, small steps. At the end, in a long-term process, it will improve your health status.
Does it mean that if I should eat what you are talking about, the plate, I should be eating those vegetables, fruits, etc. And as Donato said, I sleep well, I try to exercise and all that. I prevent obesity outright.
To be honest, this is very important. It's a key factor, can reduce the obesity. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle can really and significantly reduce our or yours or everyone's reduce of to be obesity. But we need to remember and we need to understand obesity is a very complex condition. Actually, it is influenced by various factors, including genetics, environment, and individual differences. But a healthy lifestyle is a very, very crucial step for us in reducing obesity, and not only for obesity, but also for many kinds of diseases. So it's a good beginning for us to have a healthy lifestyle, to maintaining a healthy life, and to maintaining a high quality of life.
Right, then I will try and eat healthily, and I'll reduce the processed foods.
Yeah.
I'll sleep more, though I'll listen to music, but I'll try and get some longer sleep. And when I get time, I can go to the gym, but of course I can go for walks and stuff like that to improve.
Exactly.
Yes, thank you very much. I've learned a lot, and I'll be better.
Thank you.
I'll try and eat well in all those areas in order not to be obese and live healthily and have quality of life. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We want to say a very big thank you to University of Eastern Finland and University of Helsinki for the opportunity to take part in the Nutrition Week. And a special thank you to Savonia University of Applied Sciences for giving us the space to do our recording. We are very grateful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.